Hey guys, Sam here, and today we're going to be going over the SCRL airdrop. SCRL is a layer 2 ecosystem that is EVM compatible. They raised a total of $50 million at a $1.8 billion valuation, which puts it on the same level as Layer 0, ZK Sync, and Wormhole. Despite this high valuation, um, as you can see, it's still incredibly easy to rank in SCRL, just by pushing through 4,000, not even $4,000 worth of volume. I've got a top 1500 wallet here, which is in the top 0.1%. So it is my opinion that this airdrop is extremely underfarmed and lucrative to start farming with multiple wallets. So if you want to follow along with this guide, I've posted a thread here. I'll have it linked in the description, in which you can just go through and follow the steps. So the first thing we're going to need to do is bridge funds across to SCRL from your wherever your funds are, whatever layer 2 chain you've got them on. We've got a few options of doing this. We can use the Orbiter Finance Bridge, which is a community favorite. We've also got RhinoFi here, which I've just bridged on from Arbitrum, so you can bridge across to there. And thirdly, you can also bridge using the SCRL official bridge. This may act as a multiplier for the SCRL airdrop, so it is recommended to do it, but it is using Ethereum mainnet, so the gas fees for this will be quite high. Alright, so once you've got your Ethereum bridged across to SCRL, you'll want to head across to the first step, which is sync swap. So we'll want to swap some ETH to USDC. I'm just going to do about $100 worth. Swap that and wait for that to load. Alright, that is done. Now we'll want to head across to the second dApp, which is Ambient Finance, which is this one here. And you'll want to swap USDC across to wrap Bitcoin. So you'll first want to approve Ambient Finance to use your USDC. The approval does count as a transaction, so it will count as a TX. And then you'll want to swap from USDC to the wrap Bitcoin. Wait for that one to load. That is done, and head across to the next app, which we're using Azumi Finance. So we want to select wrap Bitcoin here, and we're going to swap it to USDT. I'm going to select max and approve that one. And remember guys, every time we're doing one of these swaps, it is counting towards volume. So with SCRL, it is very easy to rank even with very little volume at the moment. So in the case where I'm just using $100 worth of volume, going through this route, I'm gonna do at least $1,000 worth of volume, probably a bit more. Now, if you're using a bit more funds to farm with, say you were using 500 or 1,000 or 2,000, by the time you finish this route, you've done, 10, 20,000 with a volume, which is really going to push your wallet up. Alright, so now we've got USDT, we're going to head across to Skydrome. Skydrome is a dApp built primarily for SCRL, so we definitely want to interact with it. And we're going to swap for wrapped ETH. So we'll need to first approve our USDT. And then we'll swap that for wrapped ETH. Alright, so swap. while we're waiting for that, you can see the different contracts here. So I've got 38 contracts. But every time we're using a different DApp, we're buying an NFT, we're using a different token, it's going to add a new contract there. So that's why it's better to swap between different tokens as opposed to just swapping between, USDC and USDT over and over again. Alright, so Spacefy, we're going to go back to USDC using our wrapped Ethereum. Spacefy is another popular dApp. We've got quite a few chains, but obviously we're using Scroll for today's video. So let's swap that across. In the case of Spacefy, they do have their own coin as well, Space. It's not popping up. I'm pretty sure they've got their own coin, whereas some of these other protocols are still tokenless. So you can potentially get another airdrop just from using these different platforms. Alright, next one, KyberSwap. So KyberSwap is just another dApp we can interact with, and we're just going to go back to ETH this time. So we're going to go USDC back to mainnet Ethereum on Scroll. Swap that one. Okay, the swap's actually disabled, so can't use KyberSwap for today. Depending on when you're watching this video, here we go. It's allowing me to now. I know KyberSwap did experience a hack a couple weeks ago, so it may be a bit buggy. Looks like it's lagging out a little bit at the moment. So you feel free to skip this one. It's my understanding that everything's been resolved. But yeah, we're getting an error message now, so it's definitely a little bit buggy. Alright, that's submitted. And you can't even see the chart, so feel free to skip KyberSwap. It is safe to interact with now. Yeah, the swap's gone through fine. But yeah, it's still a little bit dodgy, so feel free to skip that one. Alright, next dApp we're going to use is actually the Scroll name service. So here we're going to want to register a Scroll domain. So I'm just going to do Siam Crypto as the domain name. Search says it's available, so if we click on that one, we can purchase a domain. This one is $7, so it's not free to register, but definitely can act as a multiplier, so it is worth doing. So that one is loading here. While we're waiting for that, some of these domain services also have subdomains. So subdomains typically let you mint extra domains or subdomains. Like here, I could do Siam Crypto Scroll at YouTube and do set, and you'd be able to do extra transactions for very cheap gas. Alright, after that we're going to head across to a dApp called Dmail. So Dmail is just a messaging app on the blockchain. So if we hit compose here, and we just need to put like basically some just gibberish in here is fine. At dmail.com. This is going to send an email to nobody, obviously, but the transaction cost is 3 cents, so you can realistically do 30 transactions like this for under $1. So very much worth your time, especially if you're just trying to get your total transactions up. As you can see, I've got 112 transactions, and that puts me at the top 0.4%. So 100 transactions on Dmail would only cost a couple of dollars. So it's very efficient to get up your transactions with. While you're on Dmail, there is a section for pre-sale, which you can register a Dmail domain with. I already have one on this account, so I'm not going to do it today. It does cost a few dollars, but Dmail are having their own airdrop, and this may help you qualify. So worth doing if you haven't already. Alright, so for the next one, we're going to want to head across to Zonic, which is this platform here. Just make sure you select scroll when you head in, and you can pick any of these NFT collections to buy from. So just look for the cheapest one. I'm going to pick scroll alpha because it's quite cheap. Wait for that to load. And we're just going to buy the floor one here. So purchase that. Alright, you successfully bought the NFT. It may take up to 1 minute to reflect. Great, so if we go to my NFTs, that one should pop up. It wants me to connect to Ethereum. Alright, swap to scroll. And you can see I've got 17 scroll NFTs over here as well. So you just want to find that one. That's the scroll alpha we just purchased. Click on that. And we're just going to list this one on the floor as well. So it keeps disconnecting my wallet. I'm not sure why. But you go to sell NFT, just put it on the floor. So whatever that price is there, you can just put it there and just list it for 3 months is fine. So we're going to list that item, confirm, approve. And then hopefully someone will purchase it off the floor and we can get 30 cents or whatever it was back. But primarily we're just doing this for the extra transaction. Alright, that is successfully listed for sale, and we're going to want to head across to Merkley. So under Merkley, you're going to want to press deploy contract, this one here, and it's going to take you to this page where we can deploy contracts. The reason you're going to want to do this is some airdrops have favored developers. For example, Starknet, so having token deployments and contract deployments on mainnets can act as a multiplier. Now, previously with the Scroll ecosystem, you were able to qualify for a special NFT if you did this earlier, but that's no longer available. So we'll want to go to basic contract here, click on that one, and you're going to want to deploy. So it's going to deploy a contract on Scroll. You can see the gas is quite cheap, it's just 12 cents. And then we'll wait for that to deploy onto the blockchain. Alright, that should be done. And we're going to want to interact with our contract as well. So we've got a counter button here, and we can just put increase counter, and you can do this as many times as you want. So each time you press increase counter, it's going to perform a transaction on scroll. So if you keep hitting that, it's only a few cents of gas, and you'll be able to get your transactions up. Alright, so once we've done that, we're going to want to deploy an ERC20 token. So this is deploying your own token on the Scroll blockchain. So for the name of the token, I'm just going to put guide, and symbol can be guide. So we're going to deploy that one. You see it's 76 cents of gas, so again, not very expensive. But this is going to allow us to deploy our own token, and we'll be able to mint and burn some tokens once it's deployed. So we'll just wait for that one. It's done, and we can see we've got a mint, burn, and a transfer tokens section. So I'm just going to mint 10,000 tokens here. Again, 4 cents of gas, so super cheap. Counts as a transaction, and it's on our own contract, which should look quite good for the airdrop. So we can burn some tokens as well. I'm going to burn 1,000. So you can see here we're going to lose 1,000 guide tokens and a negligible amount of gas. And there we go, we've burned those tokens now. So there is also a option to transfer tokens. So you can transfer to like one of the Ethereum rich list addresses if you'd like. Just make sure you don't transfer to a different wallet of yours, because we'll identify you as a Sybil. So don't do that. But if you do want to transfer tokens, you can do it that way. Alright, so next of all, we're going to want to use Layer Bank. So you might be familiar with Layer Bank from Manta. I know the Stone token you were able to deposit here and earn a yield on. But we also have it on Scroll, so we can supply onto the Scroll mainnet. I'm going to supply some ETH here. I'm just going to supply 0.001, which is about $2. We're going to supply some ETH. You can borrow against it as well, so you can borrow some USDC against your ETH over here, or you can borrow some WST ETH. But just for this video, I'm just going to withdraw it again, because we've already interacted with the contract, so that is fine. Alright, so we've got our funds back out of that one. Now, depending on how much funds you've got left on Scroll, we're now going to want to start to bridge out. So there's 5 dApps I've chosen here, which is Alto Finance, XY Finance, Dodo, Layer Bank, Layer Swap, sorry, and Symbiosis that we're going to use to bridge out. So if you're doing $100, I'd recommend just $20 on each bridge. In my example, I've got 150 here, so I'm just going to do about $30 per bridge. Alright, so we're going to bridge from Scroll to, I'm just going to bridge to, let's go to base. We'll bridge to brace here. So we'll just do 0.01, that's $22, so that's fine. So we'll bridge out of Scroll to base, confirm, and send. You can actually see I'm getting some points on Alto Finance as well here, which may lead to an airdrop in the future. I believe there's also no fees on this particular bridge, which is really good. Now, while we wait for that, we can head across to XY Finance and do the same thing. So here, you're going to want to make sure you select Scroll ETH, and then you can pick where you want it to go to. So for this example, I'm going to send it to ZK Sync. You can send it in a different token as well. You don't have to send it in Ethereum, but I'm just going to leave it in Ethereum. And we're going to bridge funds across to ZK Sync, and you can see we lose about 30 cents here, so super affordable and not gonna break the bank. So send that across, And that is the second bridge done. And Dodo, same thing, so we can pick where we want it to go to. I would suggest do not send money to Ethereum. I made that mistake a couple of days ago. I was sending, I think it was 0.01 ETH, so like $20 across to Ethereum, and it charged me $77 worth of gas. So make sure you don't do that. This one I'm just going to send to base again. Send to Ethereum base. Do 0.01. It's going to create a route for you and send. This one's actually going to use the Symbiosis route anyway, which we're going to interact with shortly too. That is processing. Next one, we're going to use layer swap. I'm going to send it to ZK Sync. Yeah, we'll do 0.01 again. Swap now. And yeah, these are super quick, so estimated arrival is 9 seconds. Alright, last of all, we've got Symbiosis. So this one, you're going to want to select scroll over here. And if you go to scroll, we can pick ETH. And you can send it to your preferred chain. I want to send it to base again. And I'm going to do 0.0, we'll do 1.5 this time. It's going to find you the best rate available. And you're going to want to hit swap and send that across. With the Symbiosis one, this one requires 20 block confirmations. Sometimes I've noticed it takes a while, but it looks like we're on 2 currently, so this one can be a little bit slow. Alright, so that is about it for the scroll airdrop guide. Again, you can find this guide on Twitter. I'll have it linked in the description below. And as far as maintenance goes for scroll, I would go through this route once per wallet per month if you want to farm super aggressively. If you want to farm a bit cheaper, just use Dmail. So if you go to Dmail and compose more emails, you'll be able to get your transactions up for hardly any gas fees at all. Alright, that's about it.